friends. This is Alexis Percival with the Vinquisition, and today we talk science. We are going to discuss some scientific terms that are becoming more and more relevant in the wine world. More specifically, we're going to talk about hybrids and other words that come up so that we can better understand what the hell is going on. So back to Biology 101. All the things you thought were not going to have any relevance in your adult life, now suddenly they do in the weirdest place possible, wine. So we're going to start with Vitis vinifera. Vitis vinifera is the Latin name for the European grape varietal that is almost all of the grapes that you would know, that the average person is going to know. That is everything from Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Sauvignon, and Franc, everything. All of the grapes that we know, right, that roll right off the tip of our tongue, those are all Vitis vinifera. So its genus is Vitis, and the next word is its epithet. Those two words combined make the species name. So Vitis vinifera. Okay, so that's all of those grapes that we know. Now, the best approximation I can think of to make an analogy here would be to think about dogs, as in domesticated dogs. Their Latin name is Canis lupus familiaris. Okay, so that's every dog from a Chihuahua to a Great Dane. Now, they can breed. That's a crazy breeding. I don't want to think about how that happens, but they can. They're both dogs. They're just regular dogs, no matter how different they are. So in the same way, we can take two very different grapes, but they are the same species, and make what's called a crossing. So a crossing would be, let's say it's Cabernet Sauvignon with Chardonnay. That would be a crossing of those two grapes. Okay. Now, there are other species of grapes. So their Latin name still starts with Vitis, but they have their second name, their epithet is different. Okay, so they're different enough. Okay, so some examples of that would be Vitis labrusca, Vitis riparia, Vitis rupestris. Now, most of these were actually native to North America. They don't generally make the best wines if you just make it with that grape, okay? Now, here is where hybrids come in. A hybrid is when you take a different species of grape, whether you take Vitis labrusca, for example, and then you make a crossing with any grape that's Vitis vinifera, okay? What you end up with is a hybrid grape. Now, can these happen in nature? Yes, in the same way that there could be a natural crossing of two Vitis vinifera grapes, you could end up with a natural crossing of two hybrid into a hybrid grape, for example, or two native, let's say a Vitis rupestris and a Vitis labrusca. Yes, that can absolutely happen, but far more often, the hand of man is finagling things and trying to make something better than what will just happen naturally and by chance. So the best example I can think of here would be Canis lupus, which is the wolf, which with Canis lupus familiaris, we get a wolf dog. That's a hybrid, okay? Other great examples would be the zorse, the zebra and horse. You can also get the liger. You can also have a beefalo. So hybrids occur in nature. The difference we're going to talk about in part 2. So I do want you to stay tuned for part 2 of this. However, the hand of man is important here. Grapes take a long time to mature. So hybrids are almost always going to be something that is bred for selection because of desired traits. And what do I mean by that? Desired traits could be disease resistance. They could be cold hardy grapes for cooler climates. We could have heat resistant grapes that can retain their moisture in hot climates. So you can make and create these hybrids in order to have grapes that are more durable while also producing pleasant flavors for winemaking. Now, some of these you might have heard of before, like Vidal Blanc is long been used along northern United States and the border of Canada to make ice wine and white wines there because it is a cold resistant white grape. But a lot of them have a bad reputation, frankly. We say, oh yeah, hybrid grapes. But here's the thing, and I alluded to this at the beginning of the video. We are going to see more and more hybrid grapes. That's super exciting. The reason is climate change. Climate change is starting to affect us in real time, and these grapes can make amazing wine. And the more people experiment with them and fuss with them and plant them in different areas where they think that they might work, and then maybe even blend them back with a Vitis vinifera grape. I don't mean scientifically blend them back, I mean literally in the winery, blend them together, we get some amazing things. So I've had the pleasure of having some really amazing wines made both blended and single varietal from hybrids lately. In fact, the other night I had one at a Canadian wine tasting, and it was a sparkling wine made with the white grape L'Acadie. And man, it was delicious. It was super interesting, not weird at all, not off-putting. Some people equate hybrids as having foxy flavors. None of that was happening. So I think we need to look out for more of these. We're seeing them coming out of Virginia. We're seeing them in Michigan. You're seeing them at wine shops on the shelf being made by La Garagista in Vermont. So this is happening in real time, and I strongly encourage you to seek them out. Hybrids are going to be a big part of our future, and I just think understanding how they're created, where they come from, and a little bit of that history that goes back, quite a long time is super interesting. Now, stay tuned because part 2, I'm going to talk about more of the terms that we throw around with grapes and grape growing that we're going to hear more and more so that we understand what's being said and understand the conversation more. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching.